as you get started in the business, like many of us do, what were some of the early mistakes when it came to lead generation, client acquisition? Maybe some things that you were told to do that maybe just didn't pan out.
Yeah, so I actually started with William Ravis. I was an independent agent, and I mean, the average age there was like 60, 70. No one was close to my age. So everyone was saying, reach out to your SOI, do floor time. This is what's going to work. And so I did that for 6 months, and I was just a free assistant. I generated zero leads, I generated zero business, and I made no money. I thought I was not going to make it in this business.
That's so funny how I've never heard anyone say it that way. I was brought in the business the same way. So I started 21 years ago, and you become the brokerage's free assistant. That's a great way to put it. So more importantly, people are here today in the live audience, and those are going to watch the replay to really hear what you're doing now. And so let's walk through your business model now, what things look like. From a production standpoint, I guess last year would have been your first full year. What did that look like? And then what's the goal for this year?
So last year I did 1.9 million and I sold 4 homes. I was on a team. They gave us Zillow Flex. So it was kind of a slam dunk. It would be really hard for you not to close deals. They didn't want me to list homes. I started cold calling, watching your videos, starting to get into this outbound prospecting and starting to generate bad leads, but good, but leads nonetheless.
Sure.
So I got my first listing appointment. My team leader actually stole the listing from me, put it on, sold it. I said, screw this, I'm out. So I left, I went to Remax. Those are the guys that took a chance on me. They actually paid for this coaching up front for me. They didn't know who I was, but they believed in me. Since then, I've done $7.2 million with them. I have 10 closed, 1 pending, 1 active, 3 upcoming. And then my niche is really off-market deals. So I have 5 off markets under contract right now. I have 8 off markets that we're negotiating, expecting another 3 of those to close in 60 days.
Unbelievable. And that's the story that we're going to tell. And what's changed? I mean, since the days of you being on a team, doing a couple little deals like most agents are doing on these teams, I mean, that is a drastic change. And so what was it? What happened?
We talk about this a lot in the program, and you guys are going to think this is a cop-out answer, but it truly is your perspective on how you believe yourself, how you see yourself, and how you value yourself. I used to wake up every single morning thinking, I'm not good enough. No one's going to want to sell real estate with me. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. There are agents that have 20 years experience. Why would you sell with me? Why would you buy with me? So guess what? I did no freaking business. But when I started coming at it from a place of, I'm just going to learn people's stories. I'm going to see who I can connect. Then I started generating better business, better leads, meeting people, and actually closing deals. So it's not only just putting in the work and prospecting, also prospect with a group, but it's so instrumental, your mentality. It's everything.
Totally. So you bought into this idea of outbound prospecting when so many agents refuse. They just don't want to believe it. They want to, and I believe it's just a way of, to your point, copping out of the truth and then just saying, oh, it's dead, it doesn't work. Time and time again, week after week, we've done this now with thousands of agents who go from barely making it in the business to exploding their income through direct outbound prospecting. But to your point, this is all first a belief that you can do this, which you talked about. And now let's talk about what you're doing on the prospecting side of the business. What sources, you talked about off market, I want to talk about that a little bit, but what sources of business are you focused on right now?
So I started out like all of us do. I started calling canceled, expires, FISBOs, going that route. And they were easy to set appointments. One of my highest listings, I got both sides of it, 2.5 million in Greenwich, was a canceled. And I just called him and right time, right place. But as I started developing my pipeline, I really spent a lot of time building out my follow-up boss. Because in our market right now, there's no listings. So I saw the only way I'm going to get an edge is if I have a supply of inventory that no one else has. So I spent a lot of time building that CRM out. I started speaking to people. I'll move if I find this. I keep a list of everyone that says that. And every single day, I now call for one of those clients. More recently, what I've done is I've moved into the developer niche, which is where I've really found my stride. So I have 2 developers in each of the 4 towns that I like to work in. And I send them exclusive off markets. I'm actually meeting 2 of them tomorrow, a $3 million and then a $4 million, both in Westport. And they have clients that want to buy it. So I connect them. And in terms of the prospecting, I used to suck at it, Brandon. Like I could barely do an hour. When you were talking like 20, 30 contacts, I was like, how the hell am I ever gonna hit that? I do 5. No way. But Mojo, Triple Line Dialer, and then my prospecting group. So Sam, Corrales, and Dalton, they're all in this coaching program. We meet every single day on Google Meet. We grill each other, we tear each other to shreds, and we help each other get business. Without them, I would be nowhere near as advanced I am in my business.
That's great. So you just said a lot. Let's just break this down to make sure everyone didn't miss it, right? So the importance of environment, because you're right. Most agents probably work from home. Maybe they go in the office, but even if they go in the office, they're still working alone. It could be a very, very lonely business. I know you just mentioned how impactful it's been to surround yourself with other people that are like-minded, that are doing the same thing. But when did that start? And I guess the person who's watching this, who is not part of a prospecting group, what would you say to that person to get them started so that they can join one of these as fast as possible?
Yeah, I mean, Sam, feel free to tell me if I'm wrong here, but I think it was like January, February, right, that I reached out to you? Yeah. So I literally went into the group. I just saw who's posting the most in this school group. Saw Sam was one of them. I reached out to all of them. Hey, I'm looking for a prospecting group. Can I join you? Sam called me and he used your exact framework and script, but on me, and I was petrified.
He was interviewing you.
He was. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was because he thought I was a bullshitter.
Absolutely.
Gave me a week trial. Him, me, and Corrales kept going, got Dalton in, and now we're just like an incredible group. We love doing it and we grill each other. But I think without them, again, I would not be at half the production I'm at now because I just could not keep going by myself for 4 or 5 hours of prospecting. I could do 1 hour by myself.
Yeah. So here's the thing for the audience sake. Words does not give this enough justice, but like surrounding yourself in a accountability group puts you in a position that I always say, puts you in a position to perform and to do things that otherwise you would never be able to do, to your point, Alex, on your own. Because it's really simple concept. It's the doing of the push-up when no one's looking versus doing the push-up in front of somebody else. A, you're going to do more of them, and B, you'll do them better. And so I can't agree with you more. It's to not only get into an accountability group, but for everybody listening, you have to make sure that people inside of your accountability mastermind group are of high character and high commitment. And the way that we do that is by putting them through an interview process such that Sam has done for you. And so, I mean, Sam deserves a lot of credit because he's a leader that showed up in your life who did a great job of setting expectation, who allowed you to level up because you're like, I don't want to get kicked out of this group. And so I've got to show up every day. I can't be a flake like most people are in this business. They can't show up for 2 days, let alone day after day after day after day. So how much time are you guys spending in outbound prospecting every day right now?
Oh, every single day we hop on 7:30, 8 a.m. And sometimes we get off around 1, 2. Sometimes we're on until 4 or 5. We leave the group open. We dial, we take care of our appointments. I personally hit anywhere between 20 to 30 contacts a day. And that's, now managing everything I'm doing. I just recently hired an assistant to take on some of that work so I can go back to prospecting and hopefully get up to 40 contacts a day.
That's great. Okay, so let's break into your skills and talk a little bit more about this off-market niche. So you've learned a lot, in the time that we've worked together as far as the skills go. But I am curious, when you're having these conversations over the phone, is there a skill or a technique that you feel has been the most impactful that allows you to either A, break through initial resistance when you're calling people and reaching out, or B, helps you generate more leads and appointments?
I cannot express this enough, guys. Your tone and the way you speak to a prospect matters more than anything you could ever say. And we can role play it, Brandon, just to kind of show you. But I am always smiling. I am always joking around. And I'm usually pretty hyperbolic, just as a way of breaking down resistance for a prospect. So I'll say, any chance on God's green earth you might consider an offer? Or are you going to tell me to kick rocks? And they laugh at that. And
that's so good. Let me just pause, Alex. I think for the people in the live audience, you couldn't help but smile with him. Even me interviewing him on this podcast, when you did that, totally breaks down any level of resistance because you're making it so lighthearted that it's hard to be defensive. It's hard to get upset with you. And this is what we talk about. It's all about how you make people feel, not what you say. And it's all in the delivery. So that's a really good point.
Yeah, I was so like structured on the scripts and the framework at first. And when I moved away from that and focused just on how can I hear this person out and see if I can help them, changed my entire business.
And I will tell you guys what he just said is the number one thing to focus on. If you are watching this, if you're here live or watching the replay, what you, Alex, just said is the thing that determines whether or not this is going to work for you. And this meaning prospecting. It is not the script. It is not some words that I wrote on some piece of paper on a Word document I sent to you. That's why I give the scripts away for free. It's because, like, dude, if you don't know how to deliver and have the conversation, those words alone have zero magic to them. It's on how you deliver the message that will determine how you make people feel, will determine the quality of conversation. You agree?
100%.
Yeah. So what sources are you calling? And maybe, yeah, we'll do a little role play so people can hear the skill that I know you've worked your rear end off on, on developing. So what are you talk about having 20, 30 conversations a day. You're using the Mojo triple line dialer. Who are you calling?
So again, I started off with cancels expireds, but I moved away from that. So now I am only calling for clients and developers to try and put off-market deals together or on-market deals. Because I have a conversation, I see if they have any interest, I go through the basic DART framework, I then go meet with the owner, maybe I bring my buyer. If it doesn't work out for them, then we talk about the listing presentation. It's
so smart.
It's a preview appointment on steroids because you bring a buyer, you could get the off-market, you could get the 6%. If not, you talk about listing. I mean, that happened to me yesterday. I was in Wilton, brought a buyer, didn't work out. Now we're doing the listing presentation this weekend to talk about how do we get the most amount of qualified buyers.
So let me explain this to people because Alex, some people get it, but most don't. Like with the off-market thing, this is what I've said for years. That approach on the phone is by far and away the most effective way because you're not calling to get a listing, and you're able to break into conversation so much easier. Can you explain to everybody what you mean by off market and that's become your niche and how you've really found your stride, and just break down what you mean and then we'll get into the conversation.
Yeah, so basically the off market is I will either call a buyer or seller and they'll give me some sort of framework. Hey, I want to be in Westport. I want a 2 million 3-bed. So let's say that buyer gives me those kind of credentials. I'll then go generate a list on batch leads of all that, of exactly what they're looking for. And it's really simple. We can role play it right now. I go, ring Brandon.
Yep, the same.
Hey, Brandon, this is Alex. Listen, am I going to ruin your Tuesday if I tell you I'm a realtor?
No, what's up?
Well, I was actually just hoping to ask you a quick question. Would that be okay? You want me to kick rocks?
No, sure. Go ahead.
I appreciate that. Well, listen, I actually have a client. They're looking to move to they're looking to move to Main Street. They're looking in this part of town, and there's nothing on the market. Any chance on God's green earth you'd consider an offer?
I don't know. We've been kicking around. I don't know whether we're going to do anything soon, but yeah, we have actually been considering making a move here soon in the next year or so.
No, fair enough. And I mean, if I brought a bag of cash to you today, I dropped it on your doorstep. I mean, is there any number that you would take and say, screw it, I'm out, I'm leaving, I'm taking that cash?
Well, sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, money speaks.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And do you have a number in mind or are you just starting to think about it?
I don't know. I'd have to think it through. I mean, I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay, yeah, that's totally fair. And I mean, what has you considering selling in the first place anyway? I mean, no one wants to sell in Westport. I'm a little shocked you said yes.
Well, we just got to, at some point, look to simplify things, get something a little bit smaller. We've been here for a long time. Our kids are long gone. And so at some point, we're going to need to downsize. That's
fair. Do you want to stay in town or are you leaving town?
We'll probably stay semi-local. I mean, the kids are moved out of town too, but yeah, we'll stay semi-local. Just got to get something a little bit smaller, more manageable.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, shoot me straight here, Brandon. Tell me if this makes sense or not. I mean, if I was able to bring you a buyer, do this completely off market, get you the price you want, I mean, would that be worth 15 minutes of your time? We walk through the place of the buyer, and if it makes sense, then we can talk about next steps.
Yeah, we'd be open to that.
Great. What day this week works for you?
Why don't we say Friday?
Friday's perfect. You want to do 3 o'clock?
Works for me.
Perfect. Now, Brandon, can I just ask you one last question?
Sure.
I make a lot of these calls, and a lot of times I realize that people just say sure just to get me off the phone because they do not want to speak with another goddamn realtor. I mean, is that you? You can shoot me straight. If you don't want to hear from me, I will kick rocks and never call you again.
No, no, and I appreciate you being upfront. No, we're thinking about doing something, and I like the fact of like the off market to me. Yeah, I'm not interested in putting it on the market and doing the showings and the dog and pony show. But yeah, I'm okay if you show it to a client and see if something works.
Awesome. And yeah, when we're there, we'll talk about what you're looking for, and I'll start calling for you. I'll find you the next perfect place. So that's where I'd hang up. Appreciate your time. Move on and put them through the follow-up system.
Cool. So I hope that makes sense for everybody. You're taking, I don't know when we introduced this to the community, but the whole idea is calling on behalf of somebody who's looking for something, which
Yes.
makes the conversation so much easier. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody. Okay, great. So we just did the role play. We talked about the off-market deals. Now let's talk about the importance of lead follow-up, because that's really where everything happens for most people that are stuck in what we call contactitis, or like first contact hamster wheel. It's like, well, they make all these phone calls, 20, 30, 40, 50 contacts a day. And they think, well, I just got to work harder, just got to work harder, just got to work harder. Brandon says discipline, 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 but they never get anywhere because they're not actually building a pipeline. How long did that take you to learn? And talk to us about lead follow-up.
That was actually me not even 6 months ago, Brandon. I
Okay.
mean, I love cold calling. I'm one of those weirdos that actually enjoys it.
Sure.
My license plate on my new car even says cold call.
I
But
love it.
I loved cold calling, but the idea of following up with someone I spoke to petrified me. I got call paralysis.
Mm,
And so that took a long time to get over. A lot of it, again, is just the mentality that I need to pre-qualify these people off the bat. So I'm pushing people into the pipeline that shouldn't be there. That's why I don't want to call them. I have no reason to follow up. So for me, my follow-up process is as follows. I put them into follow-up boss. I set the stage, or now my assistant does this, but I set the stage, I add all the notes, I get their email, all of their basic contact information. I go to White Pages and Forewarn, I run all their information, I get their birthday. I then have custom fields for what they have, what they're looking for. I input all of that. I add them to MailChimp for the weekly newsletter. I add them to Mailbox Power to get a happy birthday card. I send them a thank you handwritten card. And then I send them a monthly market update where it's a video of me talking using InfoSparks on the actual town and what's happening. Like
mm,
actual helpful information, not just regurgitating a bunch of crap. And that on top of a few texts every once in a while, continuing to follow up. Hots you look at every day, warms you look at twice a week, and nurtures you look at twice a month. You call them, hey, you weren't ready now. Just curious, would you entertain an offer? Can I start pitching this around my database?
mm.
Got it. Okay. And I mean, would it be crazy to assume that you just don't want to do this on market? I know you said last time you're just not going to consider it. Is that still the case?
Mm.
Hey, got it. So I got to do this off market for you. Well, I'm going to get to work for you, Brent. I'm going to go try and find you something. Is it okay if I call you back when I get you someone? Sure, give me a call. That's an easy follow-up.
Totally. It's great. It's so good. And the whole off-market approach, we'll save this for a workshop inside the community, but like I wish more people would adopt this because it's so much easier to generate leads and opportunities with people because it's so non-threatening. And the whole secret behind this, if you want to speak to this a little bit, is because you're bringing such a different approach and so much value to these people that you just trip over new listings and clients because, right? I mean, can you speak to that? Because what happens if somebody's new is watching this who just can't process this whole off-market thing, what happens is that you are calling on behalf of somebody who wants this thing, and then it's your foot in the door. And because you're bringing something that no other agent in the market is bringing them, when we talk about perception of value, that it's so easy to get in this conversation of listing the property if you can't do the off market. Can you talk to that? Can you speak to that once you start going on these appointments and how that's been working for you?
Yeah, there's two phrases that I live by and they connect with each other. And I think you guys should use this. It's a way to just build relationships with people. You can use it in real estate. Seen, heard, remembered equals know, like, and trust. If you see someone, they hear you. If Seen, heard, remembered. Yeah. So if you see them, hey, I go up to them, I talk to them. Hey, I'm Alex. I see you. Oh, you're Brandon. Great. Now they know you, and now you start hearing them. Oh, you're a beekeeper. Wow, that's super cool. Oh my God, I know nothing about bees. Now they like you. But if you remember them and you follow up, hey, Brandon, just curious how your bee's doing. Got it. Do you need more land? I'm guessing your bee colony is probably getting pretty big, huh? Now they start trusting you. So you need to work through these evolutions of prospecting. Once you get someone in the pipeline, don't think, oh, they don't want to hear from me. I'm going to waste their time. Go into it going, how can I help this person get to the next place and show them that they can trust me? When they trust you, they will only ever do business with you.
It's great. It's great. And so, how old are you, out of curiosity?
I know I look 12, but I'm 25.
Yeah, I mean, you're a young guy. I mean, what do your friends and family think about the success that you are able to reach through the work that you've been doing? Because I'd have to imagine they're sitting back, scratching their head, saying, "Look at this prick! I can't believe this guy's able to do this." I mean, what's that like?
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of people that look in and they're like, "This was handed to him. He's a
Right.
nepo baby." I mean, I'm in the perfect town for that. Everyone here is nepotism. But then the people that know me, they either respect how much I grind and hustle for it, or, as you guys grow and become more successful, you're going to realize that your friends will start to hate you and despise you for what you're
That's my point.
Yeah.
Speak to that. Yeah, is that what's going on in your life right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, because what kind of income are you going to be generating this year?
So far I've generated $210,000 GCI, and then I also have I helped found this crypto startup a while back, and they pay me 120 a year. So far I'm on track for 330. I'm hoping to hit 400.
Yeah. So now you've got this target on your back because you're 25 years old, making more money than the brain surgeons in your city. And of course, your friends are like, dude, they can't handle it. When you go to leave the herd won't like it. And so you're experiencing that. Can you speak to that for 1 second? And then I want to pivot to the actual appointment.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of my close friends that are my age are no longer friends with me. They hate me. They think that I was given this, I got lucky. They want me to help them. And when I'm like, well, it takes a lot of work. Here's what you do. But the good news is, if you're charismatic and you like people and you like talking to people, which if you don't, this isn't the right business for you.
Yep.
If you're like that, making new friends is not hard. So my demographic right now of friends, they're all in their 60s.
Sure.
They're I'm going to lunch with one of them tomorrow, and I'm going racing with one of them on the weekend. And you make new friends that help elevate you. And if your friends are dragging you down, screw them.
100% spot on. I could talk to you about that for a week straight, and I won't. So talk to us about these hybrid preview discovery appointments. What are those like when you go on them? What are you doing? What are you bringing? These are all the questions that people typically have.
Yeah, so funny enough, I actually take part of your listing presentation. I love your listing presentation. I've not found anything close to it. So I will take active market competition, the price bracketing, the supply and demand, and I'll go there. Usually I like to go and meet the seller beforehand, before I bring someone. If they're like, no, bring a buyer with you, I won't get to do this in depth. I'll go meet them, shake their hand, learn more about their story, walk through the house, and I'll sit them through these few exercises, and I'll ask them, based on this data, do you feel like this reflects the actual value of your house? Or could you just not live with this number? Because if they say no to that, you don't have an appointment, you don't have follow-up, like it's done. It's like, maybe I'll call you in a year when your home's worth that. So I try and get some congruency on value, because if they're like, yeah, I'd sell for 20 million, their place is only worth 5, I'm not going to waste my time.
Yeah. So hold on, let me just clarify. You're doing these exercises prior to the appointment? You're doing them over the phone with them?
No, so I prepare them. I go there. I walk them through it. We do the exercise together.
Got it.
And then if they feel like, yep, that seems pretty fair, great. Well, now I can bring my buyer in.
Got it.
Show them the property, put the deal together. It's actually, off markets, in my opinion, are 10 times easier to do.
Oh, of course.
On markets.
Yeah.
They're so much easier, guys. So much. Off markets lead to listings if the deal doesn't get together. Yeah,
that makes so much sense. And so as you're moving forward, you talked about moving away from, expires, FSBOs, canceled, et cetera. Is your 20 to 30 contacts that you're making all pretty much based on the database of demand you have inside of the database? So if you've got 5 neighborhoods or developers, all your prospecting is based on those wants, and that's how you're able to have such quality conversations?
Yeah, exactly. And it's gotten to the point now where I can't even keep up with it, where I'm showing agents, like newer agents in my office, being like, hey, you want to call for me? I'll give you a referral if you find something for me, because I just have too much going on now. So cancels, expireds are not worth my time anymore.
Yeah. So you're essentially out of the cold calling business, and you're calling on behalf of clients.
Exactly.
That's the power of that. I hope everyone really, really understands that. Okay. Last question, then you guys can open this up for some Q&A. So you guys can start to raise your Zoom hand for you in the live audience. But for me, I don't want to assume the answer, but if you could get licensed all over again, what would you do differently?
Before I even went to take my exam, I would have signed up for your class. Not to
I
promote
appreciate
anything,
yeah.
but again, like I've looked at other coaches, I've looked at other programs. By far what you teach here is superior to everything else, because you're actually helping show people like, this is how you find out if you're going to help someone. This is how you help them, rather than this is how you sell someone's listing and get them out and make money. So first I would go to your program first and foremost.
I appreciate the kind words.
Of course. Second, and people don't really talk about this, but I give a lot of my success to him. Second is I would have gotten a therapist the day I started in real estate rather than a year and a half later, because he helped me overcome those negative core beliefs of no one likes me. I'm not good enough.
Self-image.
Exactly. My self-image is such that when I go into a conversation, I'm like, life is awesome. People are great. And I want the human condition. I want to talk.
So
Before
good.
it was, oh my God, I'm anxious. People don't like me. I'm going to hide, you know?
It's more about who you are versus what you do. And people get so caught up in role versus identity. And so you have somebody working on your identity, your core beliefs that just overflow into what you do because you've worked on who you are.
Exactly. Yeah.
So smart. It's great. It's really good advice. JT, why don't we start with you? Go ahead. You can ask Alex anything. We'll get you unmuted. Go ahead.
Hey, forgive me. I was having some audio trouble, so feel free to kick me out if I'm asking a question you answered. But I was just curious, with the developers, how did you initially build that network of people that are ready to buy these houses, and how did you kind of start building that network?
So they are, did I cut out there? Yeah, they're a tricky one to start with. They can be very overwhelming because developers are usually big ass personalities. They're rough around the edges. You have to manage that. So what I would start out, if you're looking to build these relationships with developers and you want this, which I suggest you do because you sell them the property and then you list the property once they renovate it. Pick a property in your database right now that you think would be perfect for a developer. Find a tear down that has a good law, or if you don't have that, go out and start prospecting for it and tell people, it's a little bit of a white lie, but tell people, hey, I have a client who might be interested, a developer. Once you've found one or two properties that look like a good fit, then just search up home builders and then your town, or construction and then your town. You introduce yourself. Your first question to them should be, do you build spec houses? Yes or no? If they say yes to that, then you're like, great, I have a great off market for you. I think you're going to love it. Do you want to go see it? 9 times out of 10, they're going to say yes. You then go show them the property. You take them out to lunch after and you smile and you act really excited and you learn about them and their business. And you're like, oh my God, how did you build such an incredible empire? And now every single week you have to update them. Hey, Joe, just want to let you know, I didn't find anything this week, but I'm going to double down next week. Or, hey, Joe, I found 2 places. Do you want to go take a look this Thursday? You stay on top of them. They see that you're valuable. That way, even if you don't do a deal with them, if they have something they're going to list, they might call you and be like, you know what? You've been really on point. I'd like you to list this.
And the thing JT and Alex just hit the ball out of the park is that you bring to the relationship and the first meeting with an off-market opportunity. Everyone talks a big game. That's different than actually showing up with something tangible. I mean, you can pretty much cherry pick the best developers by opening the relationship up the way that Alex just said. I mean, just think about that. In that the roles have been reversed. It's that, hey, I'm looking to partner with a developer who I really, really trust, can do a great job with my off-market inventory. Love to grab lunch with you, show you what I have, show you some of the off-market properties I have, and see if it's something that works with inside of your your footprint. I mean, dude, that is a developer's dream phone call. And so you show up like the knight in shining armor. But JT, does that make sense what Alex is talking about?
It does. Yeah. Can I ask one follow-up to it?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I mean, obviously it's great to find these deals for them. I'm just curious though, like it's a little bit different than calling, asking for listings, and that a developer, and again, I've never done this before, so please correct me. I probably have all these incorrect assumptions, but my guess would be that developers are most interested in like people that are selling properties at under market, right? So it's even a smaller portion of the marketplace that you're calling that's like, I'm ready to sell this for like well under market. Is this or am I off base here? Are you basically just, any deal that you find that is kind of a teardown, or is that an opportunity? Sorry.
Let me before you answer that, Alex, JT, what if this might be interesting for you guys? There are probably, it would blow your mind at how many investors are in your market, JT, prospecting the way that you're learning, more so than there are agents prospecting for listings. Would that blow your mind if I told you that? Like, there are groups right now that are of the thousands that are out there in your backyard right now, prospecting, doing the exact same thing that we're talking about doing with you. But you're a realtor. You have the benefit of both worlds. To approach it from the position of acquisition is such an easier conversation than prospecting to try to get a sign in the front yard. But yeah, Alex, go ahead. What would you say to that?
Yeah, I'd say so. It's market dependent, right? I am fortunate enough to be in the craziest seller market in the nation. I mean, we have no inventory, homes are flying off the shelf, everyone's rate locked. So we have the ability to do one of two things. We can either go to them and offer them slightly above market value or market value. They can sell it, we redevelop it. Or one thing I do with some developers, we're planning on doing this with one in Westport, is you spec it out first. So you come up with the architectural renderings, you get the permits, the zoning. The seller who still owns this property puts it on the market. So it's a $3 million house. Let's say the land's $3 million. You put it on the market for $8 million with the new renderings. A buyer then comes to you. Once you find the buyer, then you do the transaction, and then the developer comes in, builds the house. But really, it was just the buyer and the seller connecting. That's an on-market way. But I'd say it's really about making sure that you disqualify the leads. You got to find sellers that are serious, that are motivated, and want to usually move out of state or downsize or go into a buyer's market. This isn't going to be good for everyone because they might not get as much fair market value, but it's a quick transaction. You can save them on closing costs, and no one has to walk through their house.
So,
Right.
Go ahead, JT.
Sorry, I was just this is wholesaling essentially, right?
No, it's not wholesaling. See,
Okay.
You're getting into a world that is like, this is super advanced, but like it's really simple at the same time. Maybe we'll do a workshop on this, JT, because it's a high value thing that realtors can bring to the table that most realtors aren't doing at all. And so I think that'd be helpful if we just did a workshop on this, JT, but this is happening in your backyard right now. But in a market that isn't like Alex's, I would say that you can prospect, we would call them distressed sellers in the traditional manner that you would bring to a developer. So these are any properties that have liens. So HOA liens, mechanic liens. There's a ton of lists that you can build in batch data and all these list brokers, JT, that you can purposefully prospect people that are in a situation that are not your typical listing lead that want to sell for the highest money and blah. No, they're like, well, I have to get out of this as soon as possible. So that's a whole nother world of lead generation that Alex has tapped into.
My biggest sale was a short sale.
Yeah.
And the guy he owed 2.7. We got him 2.5. He got the heck out of there, and he just needed to sell before that loan just overtook him.
Yeah. So, anyway, that JT, that's a whole nother world, but yeah, maybe we'll do a workshop on that. But yeah, this is great stuff. Go ahead, Paul, you can ask. Get unmuted. There you go. Unmute Paul.
Hi, Alex. Hey,
Hey,
thank you for
Paul.
that. I think this has given me a lot of ideas for things I can do I can go back to a lot of my leads that I think that I've had and give it a different approach now with the off market thing. I hadn't even thought of that. Even just yesterday, I did a listing appointment, and I wanted to ask you this, how you would approach this. I had a listing appointment where the guy, he's going to be ready for me in about 4 months to list his house. It's about 2 million. It's too big for him. He's a single guy, wants to downsize. And he asked me, he said ultimately he would like to get like a 2 bedroom up in the Hollywood Hills, maybe for about 1.4 to 1.5 million. And I've got two of those coming up, but they're fixers. He's worked on his house. He wants something turnkey. I was just going to go on the MLS to start sending him stuff that's on the MLS, but I think this is a better idea to go in and just use that as an excuse to prospect that area. So
Exactly.
how, how would you approach that?
I would use whatever data source you're using, whether it's My Plus Leads, Batch, get as much specific information. So this is a great time for you to call him back. Hey, Mr. Seller, it's Paul. We've spoken a few times. I actually am starting to look for you off market. I'm trying to find you the perfect next place. I just had a few quick questions so I can really narrow down what you're looking for and get really specific with him. What kind of style home do you want? What type of home do you want? What specific area? If you could live anywhere, where would it be? What street would it be? Get all the specific nuance, create a list on Batch or My Plus Leads, and then just like we role played, just start calling. Hey, I have a client. He's super interested at moving onto Main Street at this part of town. I mean, any chance on God's green earth you would consider an offer? And I just let them speak. And then you'd be shocked at how, I just spoke with someone this morning. I did this exact same script, and she started venting to me about how she's going through a divorce and her husband sucks and they need to sell the house ASAP. We have a listing appointment set for Saturday. She completely forgot about the off-market thing, but she wants me to come show her how to sell the house and, go on the market that way because they got to get divorced.
That's great.
Yeah, just imagine a world to simplify this for everybody, to not get too complicated and overwhelmed and be like, geez, I can't even comprehend this. Just think about if when you pick up the phone tomorrow morning and you make your calls, that you're doing it for Joe and Nancy who want a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath in this area. And that's the approach.
Exactly.
That's all. That's what we're talking about here. And so instead of calling into a neighborhood cold, trying to get something, you're calling because you have this person who's trying to purchase something. That would be the approach that Alex is taking right now.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Sam. Go ahead.
It gives you a really good reason to call.
Exactly. Just, the point is, those conversions on those conversations are way higher than, hey, I'm calling to try to get you to list your house with me. Are you interested? That's hard.
At the end of the day, Brandon, when we're doing things that aren't canceled as expired, any other data source, the first biggest question you're going to get is, why the hell are you calling me? Who the hell are you and why are you calling me?
That's right.
You have such a strong reason to call them now. It's like, hey, I'm Alex. I'm a local agent. I'm calling for my buddy Adam. He wants to be in this neighborhood. Hey, would you sell? It's like now it's like a conversation between friends in the community.
Exactly right.
A lot of people want to help you out. They'll tell you, Joe and Sandy down the road, they've been wanting to move for 3 months. I call Joe and Sandy and I say, hey, Anna next door said you might be interested in selling. I have a client who would bring you an offer. Any chance you might consider that?
Yeah. And that whole world is just so much easier when you're playing matchmaker versus playing realtor. It's a really lucrative, great world to play because you're just selling with inside of your database. And so over time, you've built a pipeline of people that have wanting this desire to purchase something. And then you're matching that with the prospecting that you're doing. And the thing is, even if those don't match up, Paul, which oftentimes they don't, you're tripping into the listings with these people that otherwise you would have never gotten because of the approach.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds great.
Just if you guys do this, the one piece of advice I give you apart from the prospecting is keep your database super organized.
Yeah.
This can get really messy really quickly.
Go ahead, Sam. You want to add something?
Yeah. I've got kind of a bigger picture question, but I just want to give you your flowers first, Alex. I'm so thankful that you gave me that phone call, earlier this year, and man, your growth and leadership in this program is phenomenal. So Shout out to you, man. You should be really proud of yourself. Certainly lights a fire under me that the guy 4 years younger than me is making more money than me this year. So
Kicking your ass. Yeah.
yeah, for real.
You'll get
Anyways,
there.
my question for you is this.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people in the program who are like more analytical minded. And like, I feel like in a different world, you could be an engineer. So like, as somebody with that kind of analytical way of thinking, how do you motivate yourself to actually take action without just overthinking everything?
That's a really good question, high level. Yeah, I definitely get analysis paralysis. And so it really comes down to making sure, I just said it, like the database, that's where I would get the most analysis paralysis. Who do I connect? How do I connect them? How do I know if this is right? Custom fields and follow-up boss or whatever CRM you use, the basics, beds, bath, square footage, condition. Keep it simple, track it, follow up. And I'd say the best way to avoid analysis paralysis is just ask more and ask better questions. ABC questions, motivation questions. Try and get all the information so you have a whole rounded picture. And that way you can make a decision based on all the information. If you don't have the information, you're going to freeze. Does that help?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly helps. I guess what I'm trying to figure out is like, you want to do things the best way, but you also have no problem just taking action and figuring it out as you go. So like, how do you strike that balance?
I mean, it's hard. You have to just realize that you only have so much time in the day. And I'd rather do something 90% of the time quickly and 90% right than do it, not as much, but 100% right. You have to understand that the only time you're going to make mistakes is if you're doing things. You're never going to make a mistake if you're not doing any business or activity. So understand that mistakes are a good thing, learn from them, but don't beat yourself up over them.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is like to chase perfectionism is it's unattainable. Number one, it's unattainable. And then recognizing, Sam, that perfectionism is another form of procrastination. So there's actually no progress being made in the pursuit of perfection. There's zero progress happening. So what he's saying is you're going to get there a lot faster if you're open to accepting messy. So messy action will always, always, always crush this person who's not taking any action, trying to perfect everything. Now, intellectually, Sam, you already know this. What I'm saying is not new information for you. This is not earth-shattering information for you. But the point is to encourage you to get lost in the action, and that's where you're going to get closer to the perfection that you are pursuing versus in the planning stages. So in the mistakes is where you're honing the craft and the systems and the processes, et cetera, not in the planning stages.
I love it. Thanks, guys.
It's like Mike. That's why I love the quote from Mike Tyson. How does it go, Sam? Everyone's got a plan until what?
So they get punched in the face.
Yeah, and they learn more from getting punched in the face than they did, preparing for the fight. That's the point. Yeah. Go ahead, Laura.
Oh, thanks so much, Alex. I can tell you're great on the phone and great with people as well. And thanks for sharing all this. I have a bunch of questions where I'm like missing some dots to connect it all together.
Yeah, shoot.
We started the call with like you're working with developers and off market, but then we got into like how your calls go. Like you guys were role playing it a little bit, and you were saying something about like if you could get any price. So then I'm thinking that you're actually working with buyers who are willing to pay market value. But then it sounds like I figured out that you're in a market that's an upward market, even in this market with where lots of areas are struggling. So even if it's a developer buying it, doing a cash offer, planning to like maybe flip it, you're still able to offer a good price to the seller. Is that right?
Not always. Not always. So it goes back to what we were just talking about perfection. Someone might come to me and say, I won't take anything less than 2.5. And my developer says, I won't pay anything more than 1.7. Well, in my head, I'm like, screw it, they're still going to meet because what if? What if we can get them to 2.2 each, right? So it's like, I'm not going to go into it and be like, this isn't going to work because it's just not lining up perfectly. I'd rather it be messy and us try. Because at the end of the day, I just want as much face time with as many qualified buyers and sellers as possible. Everything else is secondary to me. Whether I get the listing, whether I sell it now or in 20 years, I don't care, as long as I can get in front of their face.
Got it. So when you're cold calling and you ask that question, I mean, I assume most people would be like, I'll sell if I could get, and let's say their house is worth 500,000. I'll sell, sure, I'll sell tomorrow if I could get $1 million.
Yeah, I mean, Laura, that's fair. $1 million. I honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think that's attainable in this market. Maybe I can give you a call back in 3 years. It sounds like to me, if I was able to get you closer to fair market value, like 500, even maybe 550, you're telling me absolutely not, kick rocks. I'm not moving for that. I mean, is that fair?
Got it. So then you bring it back to reality.
Yeah, he's just qualifying. He's just asking to open up the conversation. It's a qualifying tactic to see, is this person highly motivated or are they not taking that bait? Either way, he wins. Either way, he wins. It's either he's got somebody who's never selling. Okay, great. Or what if that person says, I don't know, if I can get 550, 600, then he knows he's got a real prospect. That question opens up the dialogue.
Right. I got it. Okay, thanks. And then when you're, sorry, my dog's barking in the background. When you're calling, so when you're calling to find the developers, because I have two really good friends, my past mentor and one of my really good friends. They work with developers and that's their lifeblood.
Yeah.
And how are you going about, again, finding the developers? Like, what platform are you using and how are you calling them?
Yeah, so I would say I do have a little bit of an unfair advantage because I've spent a lot of time curating and building AI models specifically for real estate. So I do have AI models that can do advanced research for me, have APIs into the MLS and tax card to see, all right, like a great example when I showed my prospecting group this is go into the tax card, pick an area, let's say it's Westport, Connecticut, pull as many as you can, and then you can do a simple sort on Excel for you sort by name and basically have it pick out like which are the top 5 that show up the most amount, which top 5 people's names are showing up the most.
Right.
Now
Yeah.
you know these people are big whales in your area. Go on Forewarn or White Pages, however you pull their number, find their number. Listen, Joe, I see that you own like 10 properties in Westport. I mean, I get the feeling that you collect properties like it's Monopoly. Am I right? And he's like, what? He's like, what the hell did you say to me? I'm like, you collect properties like it's Monopoly. That's what you do, right? You're an investor. Yes, I am. Oh, God. Well, guess what? I cold call for a living to find my investor's property. Any chance we can get together for 5 minutes for lunch, coffee, I'll walk you through my plan, or was that just a complete waste of time?
See how simple it is? And to Sam's point, we would overthink everything. He's just going right into public record that you all have access to, seeing who are the frequent usual suspects of these properties and doing what we do every day, picking up the phone and calling them.
Or just search up home builders and then your town. And then go on Google.
Yeah.
The Google search ones that appear the most with the most ratings, those are the biggest players in your town.
Yeah. So Brandon, I commented we'd love a workshop. Someone else did. I hope there's more in here that would love the workshop. But I think, and also I work with a lot of buyers. And so like, this has been very inspiring because I have a couple that I know are looking specifically, but I was like, wait, I should start doing this for every buyer.
Correct.
It's going to, like, first of all, I have a real person that I can call for that are looking for a certain thing. And it could open up not only finding them something off market, because one of them, both of these people, we can't find anything because they're in very hot markets.
Wait a minute. Can I verify something with Laura? Sorry to go off tangent. We got Alex for like 5 more minutes.
Sorry.
But did you not know this before this call? Because this is part of the curriculum. Part of the curriculum on all prospecting assumes that you're calling on behalf of your acquisition side of the business, buyers, investors, builders. Your circle prospecting should be based on that before you start going after cold prospects for listings. Somewhere we missed that, and that's my fault as your coach. But I want to make sure that this isn't new information for you guys. This is part of like step 1 in your prospecting efforts is to first prospect on behalf of clients you're already working with.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, okay, so no, it wasn't lost on me, but the circle prospecting script is more like, I know you think this is crazy. It's like more cold. Like I'm calling because there aren't very many homes for sale and buyers are looking.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've always talked about like, don't pretend you have a buyer when you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And so then, but now I'm going like, fuck, I work with a lot of buyers.
Right.
I should
That's why hold on, that's the point. The point is you're calling in areas not on behalf of the buyer. So that's why that script, the dots haven't connected for you, because you're calling randomly, you're cold calling. What we're talking about is John and Nancy Smith, who want a 4-bedroom in such and such Los Angeles, and calling that list on behalf of your clients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw somewhere in the chat that someone asked me, like, how, you have all these sellers, how the heck are you getting buyers? And I'll just real quick on that. When I'm having these conversations, the 3 most active buyers I have right now that buy the most from me started off as seller cold calls, because I see they're like, no, this is an investment property. I'm not selling it. Oh, got it. Are you an investor? Do you do this a lot, or is this just a one-time thing? And so you can still ask, when you disqualify them as a seller, if you feel there might be something there, that they might be a buyer, just ask the question. Hey, do you buy a lot of properties, or is this like just a one-time thing for you? No, I collect properties like it's Monopoly.
Yeah.
Got it. Well, is it okay if I start doing this for you? Yeah, sure. Well, tell me what you look for. I mean, I'm working with a guy named Adam right now. We're about to buy $1 million multifamily in Stanford. And I cold called him 4 months ago about one of his multifamilies in Greenwich.
Yeah. I remember, Brandon, your training has always taught that, where like, if you're calling someone investor that turn out to be investors, you're like, or if it's like, or if you're calling absentees.
There you go.
A lot of people say they're actually looking to buy another one to add to their portfolio. So yeah, I got it.
And the point is, Laura, and for everybody else, the point of this strategy, if you happen to do matchmaking, that's the cherry. But this allows you to break into conversations that otherwise would be really hard to break into. So just keep that in mind, right? That the actual putting together of a transaction in most markets is not likely. So don't get lost analyticals in that part. Like, I just can't see this working. Forget that. It's almost like, anyway, I hope you get that point. Yeah, go ahead, Brock. Does that make sense, Laura?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you, Alex. Yeah, thanks.
Of course.
Oh, go ahead. We'll go last one with Brock, and then we got to give Alex back his time so he can get back on the phone.
Yeah, no problem. I'll go fast. So all this makes sense. I grew up in the construction industry, got my construction management degree, and now I'm working for a developer doing infill. And one of my struggles, I'm out here in Boise, and so they've changed the zoning code to add more density. So a lot of people with certain zoning, they have a lot of opportunity with lot splits and higher density product like duplexes and fourplexes. So if I'm circle prospecting, I'm having challenges over explaining the product to a point where they're like, I'm an engineer, so they gloss over on I go too far down the detail road. So what's the balance between showing them the value of what they have, and like over communicating the new zoning code?
I guess, and tell me if this answers your question or not, but I guess it's more about it's not about convincing. We're not here to convince anyone to sell, right? So if we have to over explain why this works for them and why this is a good idea and all this other information, they probably don't want to sell because we're convincing too hard. Our line of questioning is to find out, can they sell? Do they want to sell? And can I help them? And if all of those are yes, then I put them in my database and I continue the conversation and try and connect them off market. If I feel like I'm sitting there having to explain nuance and they're pushing back on me, push for the status quo. You have no idea how powerful that is. Be like, listen, Brock, it sounds like to me like this just might not be a good fit for you. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but why not just hold it? Like, push back on them when they start asking you a lot of questions, giving you a lot of gestures. Be like, well, just stay here, or just rent it out, or just subdivide it on yourself. And it's like, no. Then they start selling you on their reasons, and then you use that to get a hook.
Right. That's super important, because the thing that they're missing is they don't understand the value they already have. So it's not necessarily a sell. It's like, hey, you can subdivide that, build the thing you want, and then rent the existing one. And like, it's fully over their head sometimes.
We just explained it perfectly then, Brock. I would position it as a question. So, I mean, I get the feeling that if I was able to show you a plan where you got some of this land, you got a ton of money for it, you got to keep your current property, and then someone else developed it, and you still got money and your property. I mean, would that even be worth looking at? Or are you going to tell me, like, absolutely not, I'll never look at something like that? No, that's exactly what I want. Well, great. Can I make a quick recommendation?
Bingo.
Got it. Okay, cool. That's it. That's it. No, that's great. I think I'm just overthinking it a little bit.
Great. Yeah, that's good, Brock. Dude, this has been great. So this has prompted a lot of, I've already got messages off this Zoom of things that we need to do. So, and that's, we have you to thank for that, Alex. So we appreciate it. Tons of value today. I mean, people are still writing notes right now. This has been really, really, really helpful. So we want to thank you for the time that you gave us. Truly, it's been great.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been a personal dream of mine to be on this. If anyone has any questions after this, feel free to message me. I'll give you my number. I'm happy to walk any of you through my system. None of it's gated.
That's great, dude. We appreciate it. You guys have an awesome week. Alex, if you can hang out for a second, that'd be great. And then, yes, we'll do a workshop on this type of lead generation and client acquisition. We'll absolutely get that on the calendar here soon.